And there it is. My emails and comments have been inundated with asking me to do a comparison video between my Traxxas Unlimited Desert Racer and the new LOSI Super Baja Rey 2 that I just unboxed and tested out the other day. A lot of comments coming in saying, is it a Traxxas UDR killer? Is it worth getting? Is it better than the UDR? And I'm always careful on what I say. Is it better or whatever? Because everybody's ideas of what they have or what they think is better, that's all subjective, right? It's all based on personal opinion and how we use our products. Well, I'm going to put these two side by side for you guys to look at today. That way you can see what would be good for you, what's going to fit your needs the most, and then that way you'll have a better idea of how you can get involved in your next RC adventure. There you go. Like a disappearing act. The Traxxas UDR is still behind there, but look at the size difference right away, guys. These guys are nose to nose, or should I say wheel to wheel, right here. This Baja Rey, the Super Baja Rey 2, comes with 3 different LED bars. This one that's right up here in the bumper, not to mention this rubber skirt at the bottom. There's one here, and of course one in the back. Boom, both of them sporting very cool customized accessories where there is functioning fans back here, but over here there is not. These are of course just for looks. A functional drive shaft in the back for the UDR, 2 actual spare tires. Here you've got a faux jack, 2 functional tires. These are BF Goodrich on bead locks, but look at the size of the tire difference, okay? Let's see if we can... Here, I'll roll this back so we can have a look at it in the light. Look at the size difference, guys. Now granted, that UDR is slightly behind it, so it'll skew perspectives, but look what happens when I change it around. You can tell that it's absolutely much larger. Here are both vehicles upside down, where you can kind of see just where it sits. Also, what's nice to note is that the Traxxas UDR actually has a double suspension setup on all 4 corners of the vehicle. So 1 sprung suspension, 1 unsprung or internally sprung, and it has limiting straps on the back. You'll see that these upper suspension links, they are metal. They're like these small rods, as well as a metal drive shaft into plastic axle housings. And then of course it has its battery tray right here where you can just kind of unlock, slide it out and access your batteries. Where you can put in dual 3S LiPo batteries, or if you want you can put in dual 2S for a total of 4. And then we have the dual suspension on the front as well. So that's kind of cool. On this one, look at our, here, let's go back to this one. These are plastic steering rod links. You can see these ones are much thicker. These are much thicker in comparison, at least twice as thick with bigger rod ends on the end. Now we do have only the single suspension on either side, but they're larger shocks, and we don't have a nifty skid plate in between here like we do with the UDR, which is quite at a severe angle. You can see it gets hit quite a bit. This isn't as such a severe angle. On the bottom, access to the motor right here if you want. It's a huge brushless. I did highlight that in the last video, as well as your battery access plate is right here. You can just pull it out. 2 giant batteries can go in there, and then that just gets stuck in with a small lock. And then look at the suspension links for the upper suspension. These are very, very thick. They're at least twice, if not 3 times as thick on the Super Baja Rey 2 here. And the drive shaft, even though, and this supposedly does get very, very hot from the suspension moving and this drive shaft spinning, so do watch yourself. I did not burn myself, but I want to make sure to send that warning out. This has a nice sway bar system on the back. This also has a sway bar system, but check this out. It's a little bit different. It's before the suspension there. I love how this, look at the return rate. Very nice. I did notice quite a bit of flex in my cage when I came off the opening jump of my last video, so that's something to look out for. Where I didn't see as much in here, but I always seem to break these plastic trailing arms here. It seemed to be one of the weak points. They always bent out, so I did replace them with aluminum. So there you go. Let's have a look, bird's eye view. And of course, glaringly obvious, or maybe not so obvious until I say it, but on the box, this is a 6S LiPo, and this is an 8S LiPo. You can still run 6 in it, but it can take up to 8. So right there, ba-boom, it's huge. If you guys missed my last video of me unboxing and test it, I'm going to suggest that you watch it. I'll put a link up in the corner here or in the video description box down below. Also a link to where you can get one of these, if you can get one of these right now, because they are a hot item. But man, brushless out of the gate, it is absolutely enormous. Just like that. I love the drivers, and does this mean that the UDR is bad? Not at all. In fact, every RC can bring you so much pleasure. It doesn't matter if you have an expensive one or a cheap one, they all have an inherent magic to them where they're cool for friends to look at and they're therapeutic for you to use. They give you lots of great time, and I don't care about brands. I think any RC that gets you out there having a good time is a great RC. But I can't deny the fact that this one over here, not only do I prefer the blue and the King shock setup. You know, Rigid Industries, I'm a big fan of those guys too. They actually make light bars. I'm just surprised it didn't come with any light bars. You know, that's odd. So here we are with King shocks over here. This one actually comes with licensed King shocks on it, and they are massive. Like, this thing is a monster. I'm gonna rip it right now. Well, there you go, guys. You got to look at both of these machines side by side. I didn't get super technical today because really I want to go out and enjoy the sun and have a good time jumping it and whatever, getting to know it, kind of introducing myself to the vehicle now and learning its limits. Also kind of pushing it to see what I can do, where my driving skills are at. It's perfect with a vehicle of this size. And I'd like to say right now that it is not larger than a LOSI 5T. In fact, it is slightly smaller than a LOSI 5T, but that would make sense because it's a 1/6 scale. The Super Baja Rey 2 is, and the LOSI 5T was, of course, a 5th scale. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's film. Like I said, check the links in the video description. If you didn't see the last video, go and check that out because this thing is a lot of fun, and we'll see you in the next episode of RC Adventures. Now get outside and have fun with RC. You know I always do. Bye.